What's up, X Nation? Colin Goodwin here, and today I'm going to teach you the exact tools that I use and the exact steps that I follow to build our service business websites, our service business platforms, and even the website that you're on right now. I'm going to show you exactly. I'm going to hold nothing back. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to build that. I can honestly say over the past, 5-10 years that it has been our website that has been our unfair advantage. It's been our unique selling proposition that has set us apart from any competitors. When we started out from scratch. We didn't take on any money. We didn't buy a portfolio. And it was our website from day one that gave us the credibility to get new clients on demand. And that's what I'm going to teach you here today. So without further ado, let's dig in. All right, before we dive into this any further, I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is Colin Goodwin. I am the founder of ServiceX. I have been a business owner for many, many years. I have owned and operated multiple service businesses through multiple industries. And I can honestly say that every single step of the way that it has been our company's website that has set us apart from competitors, hands down. Now, while I like to say all the the nice warm and fuzzy things, yeah, we provided good customer service, we did this, we did that, at the end of the day, it was our website and our automation and the features that we provided to our clients that gave them their first impression. You've got to think about this. When you look at your competitors, what makes you mad? Does it make you mad when you see them with a great website? Yes, it does, because you know that your clients, that's your money that's going to them because of their website. They may have something that's real slick, so we need to get you set up. And like I said, I can honestly attribute that our website has been one of the key factors to our growth every single time that we've started. I want to definitely set the tone right up front and let you know that after today or during today's training, you will absolutely be able to build in full a website just the same way that I have across multiple service businesses, and even the website that you're on right now. I'm going to teach you the exact steps that I use to build that, the tools and all the things that are going to be required. We're even going to dive into the nitty gritty. I'm going to show you exactly what we do it and how we do it, all for you today for free. No questions asked, okay? So we're going to start out. We're going to cover website options and an overview. This is likely the most frustrating point for a business owner. They know they need a website. They know all the things that I've set up to this point are true. They're like, yeah, but I go and try to figure it out, and I'm bombarded by all these advertisements. I don't know where to go. And trust me, I get it. So I'm gonna squash all the rumors. I'm gonna show you exactly what we use. Okay, I'm gonna show you the exact tools that I still use to this day, and that way you can shove all the noise aside and have a straight line, a straight path, something that you can actually hold on to and build a website that's going to be not only functional, that's going to dominate your competitors, okay? Second, I'm going to show you how to set up a host. If there's any boring part about this whole presentation, it's probably the host, right? Everybody's like, what's a host? We're going to dive into that. Next, WordPress overview and setup. Okay, while, like I said in number one, there are many options for you. When you look into this, there's going to be, landing pages, funnels. While we will cover those, I'll just say it right off the bat, I recommend that WordPress is the platform that you use to invest your time, your skills, and your learning into. A lot of the stuff that we teach at ServiceX is business automation, backend, and we use simple WordPress websites to fuel those on the front end, to collect our leads, to schedule our appointments, things of that nature. WordPress, the reason I'm saying this, there's second and third order effects that will come down the road. I definitely don't recommend going all in at first. I mean, you will be overloaded and overwhelmed. The things I'm referring to are search engine optimization, like the automation that we teach at ServiceX. There's going to be time for that. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up a website. Number 4, I'm going to show you how to collect leads, something that your clients will be impressed with and be willing and comfortable. And those are 2 things that are significant to put in their information and come to you to do business with you. Last, I'm going to show you how to turn it on autopilot and turn your simple website into a lead generation machine. All right, quick disclaimer. These are tools that I actually have used and I still use to build our platforms. right? I mean, this is, I'm not holding anything back, but by no means are these the only options. Like I said, there's tons out there. There may be cheaper, more expensive. We don't go into that. We're not going to cover that today. I'm going to show you the tools that I have chosen, the exact path that I have had success with. That way you can, like I said, cut through all the noise and get where you need to be. All right, so let's dive into the meat and potatoes here. Lesson number 1, website options. From landing pages to funnels to fully optimized WordPress websites, we're going to cover the pros and cons that will help you decide which route to go. There's really 3 main models when it comes to websites. There's actually more than that, but for in today's context and what I'm going to cover here, there's 3 models that I want to focus on. A fully optimized website, landing pages, and sales funnels. So I know you're going, what the heck does any of this mean? So let's go over some brief terminology. A fully optimized website, look at it as, as a base, a foundation. You're going to have a homepage. You're going to have a blog. You're going to have a contact page. This website is your platform to tell your story, right? It consists of multiple layers that allows your clients and your potential clients and your customers to scroll through, to dig through, to learn about you, to contact you, to read your blog, to watch your videos. And when I say optimized, okay, I'm really referring to WordPress here, and we're going to cover that in the next slide. But you're going to have long-term benefits of doing this. I look at a website as an investment. If you worked your whole life without a website, everything you say and do is gone in that moment. It just vanishes. Even if you're talking on the phone, you say the words and they're gone the next moment. With a website, it's perpetual. It's always there. So it's an investment. You can write your thoughts, you can communicate with your clients, and it's going to build and build and build. And it's I don't have to sell you on the internet or the way things are going. This will definitely do wonders for your business. So let's talk about landing pages. What is a landing page? A landing page. So there's a ton of different service providers that provide landing pages, but the best way I can explain a landing page is just one page. Where a fully optimized website is going to have multiple layers and pages, a landing page is just a forward-facing, customer-facing page that has all the information there in one spot. Now, you've definitely seen these. You may have seen them from me. If you're scrolling through your Facebook news feed, you see a video that interests you. You click on it, and then you scroll through, and everything's right there. It gives you the company's name, what they're all about, what you're going to learn, or what they can do for you, and it gives you a phone number or an opt-in. When I say opt-in, it's likely a button or a request for data, email, phone number, something that your clients or your customers can opt in to giving you so you can reach out to them and follow up with them. The next model that we're going to discuss is a sales funnel. Now, sales funnels have had a tremendous following and gain in popularity over the past several years because they work, number one. And number 2, some awesome people have really opened up some software that has enabled this. So think of sales funnels as, a series of landing pages. And I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but where a optimized website is a holistic solution, a landing page is a single page where all your information. A sales funnel is a series of landing pages. So your first landing page can be, your first page of your funnel can be a landing page, and likely is a landing page. The next, after they take an action on it, it redirects them and takes them to another page. It's either an upsell or gives you the information that you were asking for, or indoctrinates you, teaches you about the business, and then it takes you to the next page, and it takes you to the next page. There's an ultimate end to the funnel, which is likely the sale or the follow-up from the sale. So typically, and this is just definitely a rough rule of thumb, there's no boundaries to what you can do with these, but typically 2 to 5 different pages that come in a sequence and predetermined series, as opposed to a website where you can go anywhere at any time just by clicking. A sales funnel, you've got to go through one to get to the next. Okay. All right, so let's turn those models into reality, into true platforms that exist, and the tools that I use based on those models. So first is WordPress. You've heard those terms a couple times. Just hang on tight with me if you're not familiar with WordPress. I'm going to cover exactly what it is and how to use it. But for the context of this point where we are in this presentation, the WordPress is going to be that fully optimized website where it's going to give you the opportunity to have a blog. That's really what WordPress was kind of, that's their bread and butter is blog. You're going to have a contact page, a home page, but there's also a lot of different functionality pieces that you can use, a lot of plugins you can use to create functions, and that's what we're going to cover today. Next is lead pages. This is another service provider. I definitely have used lead pages. I'm a fan of lead pages. Easy to use, very simple, drag and drop functionality. Regardless, lead pages gives you the opportunity to build a single landing page or multiple landing pages based on how you want to do it. Using their software, and you can get it in front of your clients. They can click on it, they can do things. Now, one of their competitors is ClickFunnels, and I would definitely say I'm more of a fan of ClickFunnels in the sense that you can do much more with it, in my opinion, right? Like I said, these are all the tools I use. You can have success with any one of these as a standalone solution, and I want to reiterate that time and time again. But I think it's worth your time to invest your knowledge and your skill sets and everything going forward in a WordPress platform, and you can use these tools in conjunction with that, and that's the cool part. Once you have that base, you can start experimenting with these different tools, and that's a lot of what we teach here at ServiceX is how to do that, right? And how to enhance your business using these tools. And I'd say 9 out of 10, there's 10 times, there's likely a WordPress website as the base, as the foundation to this. So by the end of today, I'm going to teach you how to build a fully optimized WordPress website. And that's what we're going to focus on here today. Alrighty. So I gave a disclaimer earlier. I gave a couple disclaimers, but the one I'm referring to is if there was anything boring about this, it'd be the part about the host. This is where you're going to get a first glimpse of the host, but I will definitely say this is arguably the most confusing part of the entire equation. In a nutshell, a website needs these 3 elements to function. And this is where most people get derailed, get really confused, and it's not necessary. But the problem is, there's for each of these, for a host, there's multiple service providers. So when you're looking out there and you're shopping, and you don't even know you need a host, a lot of the times you just know you need a website. There's multiple service providers, and they're throwing terms at you, jargon at you. You don't know what you want. So I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you the host that I use. I'm going to show you the framework that I use. I'm going to show you the theme. The best way that I can compare this, it's a good analogy that I've used, is that of a vehicle, right? A host is the engine. It's what drives the website, okay? It keeps everything moving. It does the thinking, right? The framework is the body of the vehicle. It's got the shell. It keeps everything in one little package, right? And then lastly, the theme you will use it's like the paint of your car, the interior of your car, the aesthetic things that you like about your car that you'll be able to customize. These are what I'm referring to as colors on your website. I'm referring to the logo, pictures. That's what a theme's going to bring to you. And a lot of times, themes, what they are is they're templates, and these themes are built based on a certain framework. Okay. They already integrate with each other. So a lot of the times, all you have to do is find the theme that you like and replace some of the images, the pictures. I'm going to show you how to do all that. I'm going to show you the exact host, the exact framework, and the exact theme that I've used time and time again to build multiple successful businesses. All right, it's time to dig into the true nitty-gritty and set up a hosting provider. Now, as you can see in the notes here, we're going to utilize Bluehost. This is a company that I have had, I cannot say better things about Bluehost. I've had an extreme amount of success with Bluehost. Now, there's tons of providers out there, like I said, and they will work for you. I mean, I'm not saying that one's better than the other, but I'm saying Bluehost has been amazing. I can honestly say I've built over 20 WordPress websites on Bluehost without any deep technical knowledge. And any time that I've needed to get technical, if I'm, swapping domains, if I'm, digging into the files, FTP, things of that nature that'll just make your head spin, make my head spin, I've been able to chat with a live agent or call into support, and they've gotten with me promptly and made sure that all those things are figured out. So in a nutshell, I'm going to tell you about what does Bluehost do for us. So number one, I buy all my domains through Bluehost. So if you're wondering how you're going to get a domain for your company, well, great. Your Bluehost dashboard will let you do that. I set up my email through Bluehost. So once I get a domain, so say goodcallin.com, I can set up an email, callin@goodcallin.com. And that a small thing drives, you would not believe how many questions I get about that one thing. And you can do that right inside Bluehost. And finally, once you've got that domain purchased, you've built your email, now you can install WordPress on that domain, all from Bluehost. Now they do have several other features, such as, website security, a lot of things that you're going to see on the dashboard. They call it a cPanel. And we're going to dig into that next. But what the three things I just mentioned are going to be extremely easy, and I'm going to show you how to do them step by step. I'm actually going to purchase a domain. I'm going to install brand new, and we're going to get going. Now, there will be this, I can say when I started, this was the most confusing step for me. So if you don't want to, learn about it, you will be able to simply follow along. I'm going to show you exactly how to get through Bluehost and into WordPress, okay? And that's going to be the goal here. If you do, I'd be happy to open the discussion at a later date, and we can get technical and show you all the things that Bluehost can provide. But we're gonna dig into the basics here. And like I said, the goal here in this lesson is to get through Bluehost into WordPress. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that right now. Now, the first thing that we're actually gonna do is we're actually gonna head over to Bluehost. And I don't worry, I'm going to provide the links to every single thing that you're going to need after this training is complete. I'm going to give you everything in one nice little package that you can go and get it done. If you want to follow along and build as you go, simply click on the link below this video, and it'll take you right where I am right now. Now, you can see just basically on their landing page, right? Some basic sales information, okay? Now, WordPress made easy. I will definitely support that. And like I said, this is why I'm recommending this to you today. This is the #1 recommended web hosting by WordPress.com, okay? 24/7 support, that's that support I talked to. Now, let's talk about pricing. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat their pricing. You will find some other competitors that can add some glitz and some glamour to the service offering, but as a fairly strong product, Bluehost is going to take care of you. You likely will not even notice the subtle differences that come through. Okay, and then next, they do have some Google Suite integrations. Now, I talked about email. That's one thing that they can integrate with to make things a little bit easier. I don't use that. I just use everything from the Bluehost dashboard. So if you've never been here, simply select the Get Started Now. You'll get the free offer, the whole 9 yards. But I am tried and true customer, and I'm going to log into my account here. Now that I've logged in, I've arrived at my cPanel, or my dashboard for lack of better terms, and it's just basically built of several apps that you can use related to your hosting service and mainly your websites. So the first thing, step #1 in this process is going to be to get a domain. Because without a domain, we can't install WordPress. We can't really get started. That's going to be the first step. So it's very, very simple. You can see these options up here in the menu bar. And what do you know? You select domains, okay? So you can see what I love about Bluehost compared to some other platforms that I have used is this is a marketplace as well. So they've integrated with some marketplaces. We're going to simply search for the domain we like. Now, some tips that I can give you right off the bat when selecting a domain. There's a lot of debate, and there's not really a right answer. One person will tell you one thing, someone else will tell you different. I mean, and definitely as things have changed over the years, WordPress is a platform that is going to be really scrubbed by Google. And the content of your website is going to be that's going to be the biggest source of your search engine optimization. Now that's a whole topic. People build careers about SEO, right? So I'm talking very general here. Just basically bottom line, what I'm getting at, your domain does not have a huge impact on your SEO. There is going to be a little bit there, but you definitely want to use keywords that your customers will use. A lot of those are often your business name, right? So, I've had success building the Pure brand, and for this example, we're going to start a lawn care company. So I'm going to look up purelawncare.com. Okay, I'm going to select Get Started, and it's going to give me some results. Unfortunately, as you can see here, Pure Lawn Care is not available. It's taken. So some things that I do before I even do that, I do go to just bring up a browser and I go to those websites. Now, this is one of the most frustrating things to me. It is available for purchase. If I really wanted that, I could go after it, but it's being sold by another broker. Okay, after Nick is this specific broker. They're a big player in the domain world, but just general rule of thumb, some of those larger players do restrict sales through their platform only, but it's generally an open marketplace. So what you find, for example, on GoDaddy is likely also available on Bluehost. Now, that's, like I said, a general rule of thumb. So I've done some research on this. I'm going to say Lawn Pure. See if that's available. Boom, and it is. And I can tell you right now, what I like about this domain is, first, number one, it's short. One of my biggest pet peeves is super long domains. And number one, it's hard to type. Number two, when people ask you what your website is, you've got to say this long jumbled mess, and they're likely going to forget it. They're going to mess up a word. Also, make it really easy to say, to remember, and to spell. One example is when we started with Pure Property Maintenance. That was our domain, and it's too long in my opinion. But we would tell people Pure Property Maintenance. And I'd be willing to bet that the word maintenance is one of the most misspelled words in the English dictionary. I still misspell it all the time. So we switched it to Pure PMX, much shorter and much easier to remember and much easier to say. Think about it over the phone. Call your wife, call your mom. Say, hey, go to purepmx.com. And if she repeats it to you first time, you got it. But if she's like, what did you say? Pure PM? I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about if it doesn't work. So the other thing I like about it is one of the big keywords affiliated with this business is in the domains. So I typically pair the service plus an element of the business name. If you want to do one way or the other, I mean, you could go to the far extreme and say, the name of the company is Pure. You could try to get pure.com, likely not available, or you could get lawncare.com, probably not available, right? So you can go to those extremes and just really based on your preference, but I like to do a little bit of both. Now, we're going to just simply purchase this. You can see it's $11.99. It's a good price. And by the way, if you look down here through after Nick, Pure, it actually is for sale in this in Bluehost, but it's a premium domain through Afternic, right? $22.33. I'm not really. While I have bought high-powered domains in the past, for this business, I'm wanting to bootstrap. I'm just getting started, so I'm going to go with the $11.99 option. So I'm going to select Next. Now, this is just a checkout cart, just like Amazon or anything like that. So it's going to ask you for a couple options. The first is auto renew. Now, the thing about domains, and one thing that may surprise you, is you have to continually pay for them, okay? You have to renew. It's like a subscription model. You have to renew year after year. And if you don't pay, say you pay for it right now, use it for a year. If you don't pay it next year, they'll actually take it from you and they'll market it and resell it, okay? So I always recommend automatically renew the domain in your Bluehost account before it expires. If you select manually, they will send you some emails, but if you miss them, you run that risk. Now, there's a redemption period in the whole 9 yards, but just rule of thumb, automatically renewal. Here's that redemption I was talking about. Terms of service, I recommend reading those if you're interested. And then boom, add to cart. So now we're in the final phase of the shopping cart, and we knew we were buying an $11.99 domain, but what we did not know at the time is they've automatically added this domain privacy protection. In a nutshell, when you purchase a domain, it's like a phone book. There's a whois directory out there, and it associate that your name's going to be placed in that directory as the owner of this domain. Now, if you think about it, that's valuable to a lot of people, to online marketers, to website builders, people who want to, do this for you. They're going to solicit the hell out of you. And when I first bought my first couple domains, I was like, this is a joke. I don't need this privacy protection. So I opted out of it. I can tell you, now I buy it every single time. It does get rid of most of the solicitations, and you'll find that to be a huge benefit. Boom. And we are successful. Now that we've purchased our domain, we're going to head back to the cPanel here as you see right here. Now, this was one step that I think is going to save you tons of time. It confused the heck out of me, and it's extremely simple. But I immediately used to try to follow this flashy button and install WordPress right away. But I must do one more thing with the domain before I do that, and that's assign it to a directory. So I'm going to select on that domains tab. Now, if this is the first domain you've bought, there's only going to be one option over here. You're going to recognize this. We were here previously when we started, right before we bought the domain. But let's see. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll down. You're going to find your domain. You can see some of them are unassigned, right? And some of them are add-ons. I purchased many. I usually use an add-on directory. If this is your first time, it will be your directory, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the highlighted link, the unassigned, and I'm going to make sure that we get it assigned. So first select the domain you would like to assign. Boom, lawnpure.com, okay? Verify ownership. This domain is currently associated but not unassigned in your account. Okay, an add-on domain, okay? If you have it, like I said, we could get into technical terms about what all this means, but you're essentially, if this is your first domain, you're going to use that as your directory. Anything in the future that you buy will go on as an add-on, or you can do further research and kind of figure out how you want to handle that. But all I'm going to do is use the pre-selected items, and I'm going to assign this domain. Alrighty. Now that I've completed that process, I go back and I can see that lawnpure.com is now an add-on directory. So now that we have purchased our domain and assigned the directory, the next thing that we want to do is set up our email. Now, to do this, I'm simply going to select email from the submenu. I'm going to just be prompted to the email page where I can simply create an email account. So what you do, so my name is Colin. You can choose whatever you like for your email. So I'm going to use mine, and I'm going to select lawnpure.com. So this new email is going to be colin@lawnpure.com. I'm going to set up my password, and then I'm going to scroll down, and I always hit unlimited mailbox size. There's pros and cons to doing that. Like I said, that's personal preference, and I'm simply going to hit create. Now you can see that the email has been generated. You have the option to view and send messages through webmail, through the Bluehost platform. They have a couple partners that they use to do that. Or it's pretty simple to set up on your iPhone, your Droid, using the IMAP function. Simply Google IMAP, I-M-A-P, and it'll teach you how to set it up. And actually, the Bluehost support is actually one of the best ways to do that. Look at the Bluehost support documentation. It'll teach you how to set up your IMAP email on any computer, tablet, or phone. All right. Now, up to this point, we've purchased a domain, we've assigned a directory, we've created an email, and now it's time to install WordPress and get out of this hosting mess, all right? Now, once you install WordPress, you will be able to circumvent the Bluehost dashboard. You will want to come back for routine maintenance, and like I said, there's tons of other features that you can use here, but just want to make it clear, once we install WordPress, there's going to be a direct link to our website that we can log in there and manage everything from the website. We may not see Bluehost for another year until we need to renew our domain. So now that I'm ready to install WordPress, I'm going to simply select the install WordPress button. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to simply select the domain. And then I'm going to leave the directory blank. I'm going to select next. And it's going to ask me some admin information for my website, okay? So here you can do a title. I recommend doing all this on the front end. You can definitely do it once WordPress is installed. I just recommend doing it right now. So I'm going to say, the name of the website is going to be Pure Lawn Care. Now, whether or not you use your email as your username, that's up to you. But one thing I want to point out, if you do decide to use the same email address that you just created on your domain, WordPress or Bluehost specifically may reach out to you and say, hey, that's a little bit of a security risk in case your website's compromised. Now your email's affiliated with your website and you're in this endless loop of compromisation. So it is smart to have a third-party email as the username and or admin email. So once we input that information here, we're going to select the terms of service, and then it says automatically create a new database for this installation. Yes, I understand that installing the same domain will overwrite any file. So if you've done this in the past and you reinstall WordPress, it'll erase everything that you had previously done. So just be careful with that. I've definitely done that before on a fully completed website that I actually had hired help to develop. I was super upset. It was about 10 o'clock at night, but luckily I called Bluehost support, and they had a backup file. Now, backups, that's another one of those features that I was talking about that you can use. I definitely recommend backing up all this work that you're going to do. If you ever lose it, it's nice to have a copy and you can just start over where you left off. So while we sit here, they're going to try to upsell you. They've got some cool products, and it's super smart. I mean, I definitely love what they're doing here, but I will say I'm not a fan of their themes. Not from experience. I'm so loyal to the theme that I've used, or the framework, the Genesis framework, that and we're going to cover that here in the next section, that I definitely recommend that. So I usually just stand by, wait for that site for WordPress, and boom, we just got the message here, installation complete. Continue browsing the marketplace. Of course, they want you to do that, or view your credentials. Boom. Okay, your installation was successful. Don't be confused. The site product 50% is going to say WordPress theme, customize your site. We're going to do that separately. I'm going to teach you how to do that later. You could select, in theory, something here and get those and purchase those and get those taken care of. But I'm going to show you what I've used and that's been super successful, that I've been super successful with. So what I'm going to do is, now you've got your username and your password. I'm simply going to select the admin login. Now, just as a general rule of thumb, you can change this, but it's going to be your website name /wp-login. Okay, so whenever you want to log back into this, you'll always be able to do that just by selecting this domain. Now, this is where I'm going to leave off for this lesson. We're going to pick up here, but now we are officially out of the host. Give yourself a pat on the back. We've made it through Bluehost, and we've got WordPress installed on our new domain, and we're ready to start building our website. So give yourself a hand, and I'll see you in the next lesson. All right, now that WordPress has been installed, we can log into the back end of our website for the very first time. So I want to further clarify some terminology that I'll be using pretty commonly. This is what we refer to as the back end of the website. It's got all your controls. This is where you'll do the build out. And the front end is what actually you see, or your customers see, when they go to the website. To get to the front end, we're going to go up here to this top piece. And when there's a button that says Visit Site, I'm going to go ahead and check that out. And right now you can see it's nothing, right? All we've done is install WordPress. There's nothing on it. There's the default theme that comes with the program. Now, anytime I'm on the front end and I want to go back to the dashboard, I simply hover over the top left here and I select Dashboard. Okay. Now, you saw a couple other options in the dropdown. Those are all available here through the back end. Now, for the purpose of this training, I'm not going to need help, right? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. If you want to dig into some extra tips provided by the WordPress team, definitely more than welcome to. So I'm going to select I do not need help, and I'm going to move on, and boom, I'm granted access to my dashboard on the back end. So this gives you some cool information, notifications, things you might need. But the first thing that we need to do is actually install a theme. Now, like I said, there's a default theme installed on the website that just comes with it. But and this is where a lot of people get tempted. There are free themes, and I can show you exactly. If you go to Appearance, Themes, your website will come with a couple options, right? You've got 2015, 2016, 2017. Now, these are the default options. And while they work, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I will say that what I'm going to recommend regarding themes has tons of advantages, such as, built-in search engine optimization. It's a strong framework. And what I'm actually referring to is the Genesis framework. Genesis is extremely well known as one of the top frameworks for WordPress, and it's used by professionals, period. I mean, if you're looking for a site that's going to be easy to use, easy to maintain, and it's built on a strong framework, which is going to save you tons of time in the long run, you want to be running a Genesis theme, okay? Now, here's the difference. It's a premium theme. So, meaning they've put the work in it, they've put the work into the development, which will play to you, but you're going to have to pay for that access, right? And that's what we're going to go through next. But I just want to kind of clarify that a lot of people are tempted. There's like, well, I just want something free to get up and running. And I can show you with all the tools and tips and tricks that I'm going to teach you how to automate this website, how to, put lead capture forms, the whole 9 yards. I strongly recommend the Genesis framework. That's what I've used since day one. Just by doing my research, I looked through and everybody's talking, go to Genesis, and I did, and that was several years ago, and I've been extremely pleased ever since. So the Genesis framework is supported by child themes. So if you remember back to the first part of our demonstration, I talked about framework and theme. The cool thing is there's a website called StudioPress, which sells you both the Genesis framework and child themes, which when I say child, Genesis framework would be the parent theme, okay? And then the theme that you actually like that has, the visual aesthetic appearance that you like, that's the child theme. And luckily StudioPress has both of those available for you. But the first thing we need to do is head over to StudioPress, okay? And I will provide the link below this video. But as you can see, they tout industry-leading framework, okay? HTML5 designs, award-winning performance, zero hosting hassles, rock-solid security, advanced SEO functionality. All the things I was kind of talking about, this is very true. One-click installs. You're going to see how awesome that is here in a minute. Automatic WordPress and Genesis updates. That's huge. So, like I said, I strongly recommend the Genesis themes. A lot of people are going to say, well, I this is a little confusing. I just want my site to look cool. Well, the cool thing is you can simply shop for themes, okay? And they're going to take you to their marketplace. And, I mean, it looks like a lot at front, and it is, but it's not overwhelming. I can honestly say I've purchased about 10 of these themes, and every one has been awesome. But what I want you to do is just scroll through here and check out the different themes. And here's something to keep in mind. You're going to want something with a general look. You're going to be able to change these photos. You're going to be able to change these texts. You're going to be able to change the logo. Now, let me show you, for example. When you click on it, I always recommend doing this live demo. And boom, you're actually on the website. This is what yours will look like. And like I said, you're going to be able to change all this content. I'm going to show you how to do that. But you can see kind of the look and the feel, the colors, different things, different pages, like what the contact page may look like, things like that. So you can scroll through and check those out. And just find the one that you would like for your website. When you do that, it's also going to allow you to purchase the Genesis framework. The next step in this video, I'm actually going to shut this down. I'm going to purchase a theme. I'm going to actually build a website using the Aspire Pro theme right here. what I like about this theme, and maybe this is something to keep in mind too when you're looking, I like the full width background image. Okay, I like the call to action right at the top. I usually like some buttons somewhere around the front. This will suffice. I can put stuff in here. People can sign up, schedule appointments. This is where I kind of indoctrinate for the first time, tell my clients about my company, tell them what we do. If you see this and you're wondering, you're like, oh, I really like it where the picture's in the back. That's called parallax, and you'll see that throughout a couple themes. But this is essentially the demo, and I'm going to show you how we're going to build out this exact demo. The reason I'm choosing this one, it's definitely one of the more advanced. I mean, there's tons of stuff on this page. You can do a ton with this website, so I feel very confident that if I choose this one and show you how to use Aspire Pro, that you'll be able to really carry these skills throughout the entire selection of StudioPress themes. All right, so now that we've gone through the shopping cart and we've purchased our theme, we're directed here to our dashboard, and you can see all the themes, one or many that you've purchased, and as well as the Genesis framework. Okay, you can see it here too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select all. Yours is probably much smaller, you don't have to do that. And I'm gonna search here for the Genesis framework. Now if you've just bought one theme, cool, like it's just gonna be the Genesis framework and your theme. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and select download on that, and I'm also gonna select download on the theme that I bought, which is the Aspire Pro. Okay, now we're gonna go back to our the back end, the dashboard of our WordPress website. Okay, remember we're here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and number one, install the Genesis framework, and then second, after the Genesis framework has been installed, we're going to install the Aspire Pro child theme. Okay, so the first thing I do over here on the left hand side, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to hover over Appearance, and I'm going to select Themes. Boom. And you'll recognize a familiar image. That's the actual default theme that's already installed on the website that you can see when you visit the front end. Now, I want to first get the Genesis framework. You can't, I mean, if you install the child theme before the Genesis framework, you won't mess anything up. It just won't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Add New Theme. And it's going to, again, take me to a marketplace, show me free ones. And like I said, this is where people have said, well, why don't I just use the free one? You're free too. You can do it the same way. But for my purposes and what we teach in ServiceX and throughout, I definitely recommend the Genesis framework. All right. So the first thing we're going to do, upload themes. Boom, up here at the top. Add themes, upload themes. And it's going to say choose file. And something to keep note of, they were downloaded in zip format and they must be uploaded in zip format, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop that Genesis framework in the choose file, and that's why I love Google Chrome. If you don't use Google Chrome, you're missing out. Different browsers work for different things, and you definitely need more than one. But the fact that the download bar is right here at the bottom makes it super easy. And we're going to hit, once we've got the file, it's acknowledged that we've dropped the file. We're going to hit install now, and we're on our way. Alrighty, so now that the it's been installed, you get a message here: unpacking the package, installing the themes successfully installed. Okay, now you're tempted to press the live preview. We all want to do that, but I can tell you there's not going to be much there yet. But I do want to activate it, and that's a critical step in this process. And you'll see that's kind of a theme throughout WordPress, as you do need to activate, whether it's a theme or a plugin. Once it's downloaded, you have to activate it. Just because you download it doesn't mean it's active, right? Okay, now remember 2017 was set as our theme, and now we've got the Genesis framework, right? And it's the active theme. Like I said, feel free to visit the site and check it out. It's not gonna, it's not gonna break anything or do anything to hurt. It just won't show much, but it does show, pure lawn care. Boom. It has a little bit of a different look. And then, so next we want to install the child theme, which is the Aspire Pro. So we're going to repeat the exact same process that we just went through. I know, it's that simple. So we're going to go to Add Themes, upload themes. We're going to select the Aspire Pro theme. We're going to drop it there. We're going to select install now. Boom. Unpacking the package, installing the theme. The theme requires a parent theme. Checking if it is installed. The parent theme, Genesis 2.5.3, is installed. The theme installed successfully. So let's go ahead and activate that. And just by doing that, those two small actions, you have installed the Genesis framework on your website, and you've also installed a custom StudioPress theme, in this case Aspire Pro, and you can already go back to your website, refresh it, and it's going to have a completely different look. Boom. Okay, so you can see the black header. Now what we're going to dig into next is how to actually populate this. To do this, we're actually going to use the documentation. We're going to set up the demo theme for you to show you how exactly you can replicate what you see on the website. Now, there's no doubt you're going to want to customize some things, and I can show you how to do that as well. It's the same principles as we're going to go through right now with the demo. All right, now that the themes are installed, we're back at our dashboard here, and we want to get our website up and going. We want it to look good. We want our clients to be able to see it. One thing you'll notice too, if you do log out and you try to go to the same website, you're going to get a coming soon, right? So you haven't launched this. So I've gone back and forth. I mean, if you're running a super secret project and you don't want anybody to see it until it's done, fine. You don't have to launch it. And the cool thing is you can do the updates and changes and no one can see it without being logged in. So that's a pretty cool feature. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to show you how to launch your website from the very start, because one thing that I like to do is I like to test how my changes turn up on mobile. So I always get out my iPhone, and as I make a change, I'm looking at my website to see how it impacts and how it looks on mobile. And if it hasn't been launched, you can't see it. You'll get this thing unless you log into your WordPress dashboard from your phone, which is kind of a pain. And in my opinion, I don't like to do it. I feel like it's kind of risky. I don't want something to get messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log back in. And I'm going to launch this website first and foremost. To do that, we go up here to the Bluehost tab, hover over it, and select the Home option. When we do that, you can see there's this box right at the top of the page that says Launch. I'm going to go ahead and launch it. All right, great. Now the website has officially been launched. I can view it. Anybody can view it. It is live. If you visit lawnpure.com from any phone, any device, you'll be able to see it. And there's not much there right now. It's just a simple hello world. By the way, this is a post. I'll teach you the difference between pages and posts here in a little bit. Now that we're ready to go, we come back to our WordPress dashboard, and anytime you want to get home, I always just use this dashboard button. I just select that. It takes me back to the start, and we can get going from there. Now, I mentioned that StudioPress, where we bought our theme. Now, the cool part is right next to the download button, there's this setup instructions tab. That is super helpful. That's what we're going to follow, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Boom. It's going to show us how we replicate the exact look and feel of the demo website, and we can simply plug and play, put our own pictures and things in there. Alrighty, so let's start from the top. Okay, here's the documentation for the Aspire Pro theme. Everything you need to recreate the demo is here. Okay, so it talks about installing the Genesis framework. Check, we already did that. Now we're going to import that demo content. Now, first, homepage widgets. That is one of the biggest advantages to using a StudioPress theme in the Genesis framework is you operate off of these pre-built widgets. They're containers, okay? And what I mean by containers is, you know, if you look at the website right now, there's nothing there. But there's already a built container that all I have to do is throw a photo in and it'll show up on this website, okay? WordPress does have the functionality to use the customizer and do kind of drag and drop features. And you can actually download plugins that will allow you to do that. I'm not a fan of that because the functionality, it's pretty tough. It doesn't always work just the way you want it to. With the Genesis framework, you learn this widget functionality, and you're going to be set free, okay? So that's what we're going to focus on today. Just like earlier when we went to themes, we're going to hover over appearance, and we're going to select widgets. And it brings up these pre-populated containers like I was referring to. And like I said, the Aspire Pro theme that I selected is pretty advanced. I mean, there's tons of options here. If you bought a different theme and you're looking at this, you're going, whoa, it's probably because your theme doesn't have this many containers. The Aspire Pro theme is pretty packed full of options. So you can see that in the setup, front page 1, front page 2, front page 3 matches front page 1, front page 2. This is the exact same thing, so it's going to show you how to walk through each of these. So I'm going to start with simply hitting the front page 1. For the front page 1 widget area, we added an empty text widget inside this widget location. Okay, so what I refer to as containers, they're referring to as widget locations. Now, what do you know? You look over here to the left, and there's available widgets. These are just pre-built functions that you can drag and drop into each container, and you get the functionality that's available in those widgets. So like I said, in the first one it says we just simply added a text widget in this widget area. So I scroll down and I find a text widget, and I'm going to literally click on it, and I'm going to drag it to front page 1. If I hit done, it's an empty text widget. There's nothing there. Let's see what impacts that may have. Boom. Is that magic or what? That's pretty cool. We didn't even put anything in there. Just simply adding a text widget to the area, and the demo content image, as you know, as seen here, is already in there, which is pretty freaking cool. This image can be changed to any image you want using your customizer. So you can access the customizer by going to Appearance, Customize, and then clicking the tab Front Page Background Image. Now, to do exactly what the demo is saying, to put your own image in here, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Customize button, and you're going to go to Front Page Background Image, as we just read in the documentation. And boom, here's where all your front page background images will lie. And you can simply select Change Image, and you'll be prompted to upload the file. Now, something that's very important to keep in mind, the default images are 1600 pixels wide and 1050 pixels tall. You're going to want to use some sort of image editor to get your image to those dimensions so that they fit just like the ones do in the demo. Now, if you do have an image that has different dimensions, go ahead and try it. It doesn't hurt. Couple things to caution. Be careful of uploading files that are too large. While it'll accept large files, it will slow down your website. So when you go to lawnpure.com and you've got a huge file for the background image, it's going to sit there and think and load, and it's going to be really aggravating for your customers, and they're not going to like that. So just be cognizant of the file size, and also if it's not the right size, it may stretch the image or whatnot. So just keep that in mind. Okay, now that we've successfully set up the front page 1 widget, let's move on to the front page 2 widget. Now it looks like it's this little box that says join us to get access to my new book. The front page 2 widget area is using the Genesis eNews Extended widget plugin for the demo. You can access this plugin by downloading it for free. Okay, so this is going to be our first introduction into plugins, and I know this is like a fire hose, but I promise there is an ultimate cap to it. We're not going to keep adding and adding information. So some basic terminology. That you know what the theme is. You've already gone through that. Now, plugins are widgets, okay? When you're in the widget homepage, available widgets, you've got these options. But if you want additional functionality, there's a marketplace that allows you to go out and get more widgets to add to your containers and to add to your website. So as they're referring to here, they use the Genesis eNews Extended plugin. So I'm going to open that link. Boom, and it takes me to wordpress.org. It's got, the documentation on it. And there's let me just tell you, there's thousands of these, so you can spend a lot of time finding some pretty cool features. But all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna simply select download, and you can see it's downloading here in my my download bar. So I want to get that imported into my WordPress site so I can put it in the front page 2 widgets section. Okay, so I'm gonna go to plugins, as you can see here. I'm going to hover over it, and I'm going to select Add New. Now, your website obviously does come with some already pre-installed widgets and plugins, but we want to add more. And here's the marketplace. You can search for days. You can search here using these keywords in the marketplace. You can do popular, recommended, whatever floats your boat. But what we're going to do is we're going to upload a plugin since we downloaded it externally. So just the same exact way that we did the theme. We're going to go ahead and drag the plugin, into the file selector, select Install Now, and as you notice, it is also a zip file. Boom, plugin installed successfully. We're going to hit Activate Plugin, and that's literally all we have to do. So I'm going to head back to my widget dashboard. Remember, we're going to hover over Appearance, Widgets, and what do you know? Genesis eNews Extended is now available for me to use on my front page 2 home section. So before I go any further, let me look at the documentation, make sure I'm going to do everything right. Once you download and install this plugin, the eNews widget will be available on your widgets page, as we just saw. You can then add this widget to the front page 2 widget area and adjust the settings as you wish. The background color for the front page 2 widget can be changed using the customizer. Now, this is something that's very important. One thing that I struggled with when I started building these Genesis WordPress websites was color conformity and really just continuity of the same colors throughout my entire website. And what I didn't realize was you can change the color as documented here in the customizer, and it will use that color throughout your entire theme. So whatever color you want to use, it's important just to select 1, 2, or maybe 3 and use those consistently throughout your website. So before we get too in the hole on colors, let's get that eNews Extended widget into the website. So as you can see right now, I'm going to refresh it just so you know there's nothing there. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get that Genesis eNews Extended website, or widget, sorry. I'm going to drag it, I'm going to drop it, and boom. It's right there, okay? Now, there's going to be some options here to do this, to the field input names. You can put a title, but let's go ahead and hit done. That content area has now populated. It's definitely not perfect, though. We need to do a little bit of work on it, but you can see just by putting that eNews Extended widget in that widget area, it's rocking and rolling. This specific plugin will require some external research. It's pretty simple, but what you're going to need to do is, and why I can't show you one specific direction, you're going to need a form action. The whole point of this, and I'll look at the demo. You want people to opt in with their first name and the email address. This could be an offer for a free quote, or this could be an offer for how to maintain your lawn or throughout the winter. There's just a couple things you can do, but really the whole point is collect their information so you can follow up with them at a later date. To do that, there's a lot of email service providers, such as MailChimp is one that I use very commonly, that I need to link and really, for lack of better terms, automate. I need to link this form to that. So it says, hey, here's the form action. It goes to this MailChimp form. It goes to this email field. This is the first name, this is the last name, boom. But I would recommend using this Genesis eNews Extended installation and support to really dig into that. You can see the plugins tutorial website. There's a lot of documentation that can show you how to do that. If that frustrates you, there's a lot more you can do. You could simply remove this and put a text widget in there and just have some text that says the best lawn care in 3 counties. Boom. So instead of that e-news, if I'm frustrated with that and I just want to get up and running, I put a text widget. If you ever need something to fall back on, the text widget is pretty awesome because you can just put it there. So I'm going to refresh that, and boom, the best lawn care in 3 counties. So this will get us up and running. But if you want to do some advanced functionality, there's tons of things you can do with widgets in those specific areas. All right, so now that we've got that one, let's move down to widget 3. And everybody's jaw is going to drop because they see, uh-oh, there's some code here. What do I do? Now, the cool thing is that you don't really need to learn code. And you can see here that automatically it even uses a text widget. And all you have to do is simply select, copy, and paste this code. And it's going to populate exactly what you see here on your website. Now, I will say, this used to intimidate me. But after doing this for quite some time, this is nothing. And I'm going to show you exactly what this is. This is why I prefer to use this over drag and drop functions, is because this is actually not that hard to learn. But it's going to be a piece of cake. What we're going to do here is says for the front page 3 widget area, we're using a text widget. Add a text widget and then copy and paste this code. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that code. I'm going to go back. I'm going to add a tried and true text widget. Boom. And here's something important just to notice right off the front. You can add a title if you'd like. If you're in the visual editor, cool. You can, bold it, whatnot. You can, make it italic. You can add links to it. Great. But if you're going to add code, well, let me take that back. Let me show you exactly what happened. So you can see if it's just text, and I click on the text, it just shows the text. But watch where this magic happens. And this is why WordPress is so powerful. I'm going to hit bold, and I'm going to make it italic. Okay? When I hit the text now, boom, it actually added the code for me. So I didn't have to do anything. It's that smart. Okay? And so say I'm going to add a link. So now you can click on this link. Now go to the text and boom, it added the code for me. So as you can see, this seems really intimidating, but WordPress does the majority of it for you using the visual editor. But really the whole point that I am adding here, if you're going to add code, you obviously don't add it in the visual editor or it'll show up. Let me show you exactly what will happen. It won't break anything. But if I add that code here, and I don't want that. If you get it looking like that, go back. So I'm going to get that code, and maybe I need a view raw. I'm going to Control A, select it, Control C, copy it, go back to my widget, and I'm going to paste that puppy. Boom. I'm going to hit save. Now let's see what happens. You can see the code just straight up showed up instead of doing its job. It just showed up. That may frustrate some people, say, oh, throw your hands up. I don't know what happened. All you did is you entered code in the visual editor, where code needs to go in the text editor, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. I'm going to select text, Control V, and I'm going to hit save. Now, this is where all the magic happens. Boom, go back, refresh that website, and look at that. I've got an awesome container with some awesome text. I can start talking about my company. I can show pictures here. Now, just so you know, you're like, Colin, I want to edit this immediately. I hate this. I don't want this on my website. I don't know what this link goes to. Yeah, I need to change all this. Of course. Okay. So that's why I'm going to show you how to use this code and what it really means real quick. So the P just means the style. This is like bold. Okay. So P means paragraph. It's just the simple form of what the website has defined as paragraph text. You don't need to change that at all. So just general rule of thumb, when you're editing stuff, edit it with inside these brackets. And you can see down here, here's a link, and boom, here's an image. Okay, so yes, all these things that's just one single image. You can see I can drag it and move it around. They're not individual buttons or anything like that. It's just an image. So I'm going to go back to my site, and I'm going to look at that code, and I'm going to say, And I'm going to look at the first thing I'm saying. It says P, and that's the paragraph. So I need to edit everything inside those brackets. Okay. Now, you can do it this way, or the magic part, you can go back to the visual editor and you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is edit the text in here and it'll automatically change the code for you. I just wanted to show you that it's not as intimidating as you think. So I can say Pure Lawn Care, the best lawn in 3 counties. We pride ourselves in timely response, competitive rates, and unmatched customer service. Boom. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to refresh. Boom. Pure Lawn Care is the best lawn care in 3 counties, guaranteed. We pride ourselves in a timely response, competitive rates, and unmatched customer service. Learn how. Now, to change that, so that's going to send them to a different link. Now, typically, that's just another page on your website, which we haven't set up right now. So I'm going to leave that as is, and we can come back to it. This image, though, you definitely will want to change. You can put anything you want in here, okay? Now, you can get rid of it. And that's what I've done in the past. I've just gotten rid of this image until I found something that was pertinent. Just because the demo has it doesn't mean you have to have it. Just keep that in mind, okay? If you feel it's relevant to add some icons or something in this, you can. But for now, we're just going to get rid of it because we don't need it. We've got some nice text to learn how link. Boom. We're going to hit save. So I'm going to refresh. I'm going to see exactly what that looks like. Boom. Best lawn care in 3 counties. Pure Lawn Care is the best lawn care in 3 counties. We're going to wear that out. So that was 3. Now, I want to show you a cool trick too. You do have the option to add a title. You're going to hit save, and it's going to be a different font. Not a different font, a different size. You can see it's got the title. So, all right, moving on to the front page for widgets. I'm going to go select that. And cool, it shows 3 images and a learn how button with some explanation. Now, you could always do, what comes to mind when I look at this is icons or even photos, just like you see here, that shows exactly what you do. So if you're lawn care, you could say mowing, trimming, blowing, okay? And you could just do a little, we're going to mow your yard, we're going to trim the edges, and we're going to clean up when we're done. Okay, so that's a simple thing that we can do. And again, you can start to see a common theme here. All we're going to do is we're going to view raw. We're going to copy this. And we're going to go back to the front page 4 section. And we're going to add a text widget, just like we have time and time again. Now, as you know already, before I get repetitive, you're going to paste that text widget into the text editor. Okay, and then you're going to hit save. Now, if you want to edit, change photos, things of that nature, it's super, super simple. Like I said, we can just go to the front and we can say mowing, trimming. Now, that's something that I don't like. So sometimes if that happens, the bottom text gets, sucked up into the top. Just always keep those separate. And then let's get the last. And the way I do that is by not using the last letter. Boom. Now, when I would want to change the images, that's one thing that may get a little tricky. And the only reason I say that is I'm not 100% confident in the visual editor when it comes to images for a couple reasons. The main reason being is that we've used what's called column classes, and we've broken, in order to get this look, and without getting too technical, in order to get this look of the images side by side, if you just threw these images, the website doesn't know if the images should go up and down or side by side. So in order to tell it that we're going to put it side by side, we've used what's called column classes. And we've broken it up, so 1/3 first, 1/3 second, and 1/3 third, not to be redundant. Alrighty, So we need those images to land in those column classes. So we can always try, and this is where you run the risk of, if you delete this image and we add an image back, so we insert that into the post and we save, we may have luck, and chances are you will. I mean, the WordPress theme is super, super simple. You can see that all I did was delete it, didn't move the cursor, and put the image back. So I'll do it one more time. Let's just see. It may work out just great. Okay. So I'm going to delete that image. Don't move the cursor. I'm going to add media. Select the image. Boom. Save. Boom, and it's working. And this is where you can see this theme and this framework really is strong. So I take back what I said about being hesitant. For the record, though, because I brought it up, I will show you an alternative way to do that. Now, that's interesting. Let's see. So that's going to come up. I'm going to delete that. That cursor lands right there in the middle. I'm going to add media. Of course, you're going to want different images. Make sure they're the same size, by the way. If you do put in different sizes, it will show up lopsided. Or not lopsided, but this one will be bigger, and it'll actually kick this text down further, and so it'll look funky. All right, so I'm going to hit save, and I'll get my last image in there. Boom. So I've got mowing, trimming, and cleanup. You can start to see this is looking pretty sharp. Now, one other option that I wanted to show you is just using a text editor. Whether it's a page or a post, they both have the same functionality, and really, that's all they are, is they're large text editors. So let me open up an example post, and let me show you an alternative way to do this. So I'm going to add media in the post, just like I was adding it directly into the widget. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that. Boom, it's there. That's the visual side. Now the cool part is it converts it to text for me. So what I can actually do is, like I've done before, I can copy and paste this. So yes, I use the post as a semi like text HTML converter. So I click that, and then I go back to appearance, widgets, and I don't want to save the changes. I'm not actually creating a post. And then I go back to that front page 4 where I just was. And you can see in the text, I can actually, all I have to do is input the image source. So basically what this means, image class, it tells you to align it, size it medium, and it says the source is this URL. I can actually just put the URL there, or put that code that I just copied here. Boom, copy and paste it, and it's actually the same exact code because it's the same editor. And save, and it'll do the exact same thing. But for the purposes of this, you can simply delete it, keep your cursor in the same place so you stay in the right column class, and boom, you've got 3 images. You can change the text, and below that, you can use the visual editor to change all this. And then lastly, you've got this button here. Right now, it looks like it doesn't link to anything. Let's see. Yep, it's a dead button. So what you can do is I can change this to schedule now, and then I can actually simply add a link to it. Now this can actually go to a link on your website. I haven't built it out right now because you've seen everything I've done up to this point. But say in the future I build a page called schedule. So I'm gonna go to boom, and this is where people can schedule services. I can schedule lawn care. I'm gonna hit apply. I'm gonna hit save. Then when I go back to the button and refresh this page, I can click on that button, and it actually takes me to the schedule page, which doesn't exist at this point. So nothing lost there, but you can see that the link goes and everything. So that's pretty cool. So let's go back to the home page, and you can see now we've built widget areas 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, for the sake of time, I'm actually going to stop there, and I'm looking through the rest of these widgets, and they're all the exact same things. You know, I could go through each and every one of them, and I'd be happy to work with you individually to show you how to do that, but it's literally the same exact strategies that I've taught you. Add a text widget, copy and paste the code. Add a text widget, copy and paste the code. Add a text widget, copy and paste the code. Add a text widget, copy and paste the code. So that's the cool part about this Genesis framework, is it's actually pretty simple. So I've showed you how to do that. This one here, you'll actually add a widget, but I showed you how to do that with a Genesis framework. You actually go to the website, download it, go to plugins, upload now, boom, drag and drop, you're rocking and rolling. So you're going to simply do that all the way through these, and then you will have a fully functioning website that has the look and feel exactly how you want it, and it's going to have your information. I've taught you how to add things to the text widget and then edit them in the visual editor. So the power is in your hands now. You now have the ability to build the homepage of your WordPress website. Okay, up to this point, we have been able to set up hosting. We've been able to purchase our framework. We've been able to install WordPress, and ultimately we've been able to set up our homepage using the Genesis framework and a premium theme from StudioPress. And before we close this out, I definitely want to push a little further and give you some functionality that you can use immediately and have a fully functioning website going forward from here on out. So I want to give you a little further overview of how things work on WordPress. Now, it's broken down. We've used appearance quite a bit for the themes, for the plugin, for the themes and the widgets. Now you've got the plugins here, tools, settings, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that's really helpful stuff, but not something you would likely worry about it on the front end. Really, what you're going to focus on is posts and pages. Now, WordPress inherently is a blogging platform. So when you think posts, think blog, okay? I.e. you have a page that is a blog page that you can scroll through and click and look at different blogs. So that's going to be the first thing that we're going to set up, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Next, I'm going to set up a basic content or contact page, and we're going to embed some forms on there that will allow your customers to not only contact you, but to get some responses, replies, things that will set you up for success there. So let's start with the blog page. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select pages, and then I'm going to go to just the pages dashboard. All right, now that we're on the pages dashboard, you're going to see it comes preloaded with the sample page. Feel free to check it out, use it as a template. But for the purposes of this demo, I want to start out building a blog page. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is hit Add New Page. Now, before we go any further, I want to say, what are the advantages of a blog? A blog is an opportunity for you to tell your story and really relate to your customer without ever meeting them. This is going to be the first impression that a lot of clients have, and the cool thing about it is they can actually get to know you or feel like they're getting to know you without ever meeting you. So I found this as a great tool. By the time I show up to do a sales pitch or do a free quote or whatnot, the client is already indoctrinated into the way I think my mentality. They're stating my sales pitch for me. And it's one of the coolest things. So a blog is definitely a recommended item from my end. Now, another cool thing is it allows you to add content to your pages, which ultimately gets looked at by Google and indexed in Google, and will ultimately help you rank for keywords. Now, there's some really, really cool tools that can help you for that in the future, but for now, we're just going to get the basic blog page set up. So we're going to name this blog, and we're going to hit publish. We didn't put anything else on the page but the name. And the reason being is I wanted to show you this. It creates a permalink, and it's lawnpure.com/page ID 10. While the internal page ID is 10, I don't really want that to be my URL, right? When I say people go to my blog, I don't want to say go to lawnpure.com/page ID 10. No, I want to say go to lawnpure.com/blog, right? So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go to settings, permalinks, and it's going to give me some options here. Common settings. You can see this is the current setup that we have. And like I said, I want it to actually be the post name or the page name. So what I'm going to come down is I'm going to select the post name as the URL. So I'm gonna select that and I'm gonna hit save changes. Now that we've done that, we're gonna go back to our blog page. So we're gonna hover over pages, look at all pages, and I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna edit this, and boom, you can see the URL is updated to lawnpure.com/blog. So that's super cool. Now that we've got the URL set up, it's time to either add some content, or the main thing that we want to do is actually set the template as a blog page. Now, here is actually a website that I built for your pure property management on the Aspire Pro theme. So we got lucky there. And you can see that the blog page, all it does is it really houses your blog posts. And it allows you to click on them and it puts them in, order. You can order them differently. And then once you click on it, it actually takes you to the post and you can read through it. So very, very, very cool. Okay. So in order to get that set up, what we're going to need to do is actually define it as this page as a blog template. Okay. So we're going to set the name of the page as blog. We're going to set the template as a blog template, and we're going to update it. And in theory, you don't have to do anything else. You're done. One thing you can do, if you notice here, this is a full width page right here. And if you look here, the default layout is likely a sidebar layout. I haven't checked the theme settings. But if you want that full width, you just select that button. You can do a sidebar. I mean, sidebars are great for blogs because it actually gets people that are reading your free content and it gives them offers, schedule a free quote, whatever it is, whatever your offer is, that can always be in front of them as they go. But if you want to change that, you can do that. So we've set up the blog template and boom, there's our first blog post. And it's one of the some of the demo content that was preloaded on it. So what we can actually do next is go ahead and write a legitimate post. So like I said, that's pages. And then in order to populate the blog page with posts, we need to add a new post. It's that simple. So from this point forward, every time you go and submit a new post, it will automatically show up on your blog page. You don't have to go back and do any more work. You simply need to go to hover over post and do add new. And then this post is going to be called How We Cut Grass. Right? I'm going to do some How We Cut Grass. So I'm going to copy that. And then I'm just for the demo of this, I'm going to put it down there. This would be a lot of text. Right now it's draft, okay? Now, we don't need to put the type of post. You can see it's not there. One thing you can do is add categories. So for example, if I'm a lawn care company and I want to write posts about mowing, I can put it under the mowing category and my users can select mowing and see everything that's related to mowing. If I want to put weed eating, I can put weed eating, and so it allows you to filter through that. You can do some research on tags. That's a really cool thing. Now here's the cool part. We're going to go back to our blog page and I'm going to refresh it. And boom, How We Cut Grass shows up on my blog page. So you can continually do this time and time again, and you can populate your blog page, and every time someone comes to it, they can click on it, and they can be redirected to your actual blog post. So very cool feature there. That's how you set up your blog page. Okay, now that we set up our blog page, the last thing I want to do is set up our contact page, and then we'll have a fully functioning full circle website that allows us to push content out and then receive information back through that content page. So the first thing I'm going to do is go, as you know, I'm going to go here to pages. I'm going to say add new. And I'm going to name this one contact. Very simple. Okay, there's no theme template. We're going to use the default template, and if you want to change the way the layout looks, you can always select a button here. But for now, if you can't tell by now, I'm a fan of full width. There's opportunities for sidebars in certain pages, like blogs. That's a good opportunity. But you can see it already creates the URL, the permalink, and I'm going to go ahead and publish that. I always do that just to be safe. You can save it, and it won't be on the website, but I'm going to go ahead and put it live. Now, you can. When you're creating a page, you have a similar feel to the widget area where you have a visual editor and a text editor, okay? So anytime you add words to the visual editor, so contact Pure Lawn Care, we're gonna go ahead and update that. And when we look at our website, by preview changes, boom, it actually shows up on that page. But you can see there's nothing here. I mean, obviously with a our contact page, we want to be able to collect information. Now, this is where we get into online forms. Now, there's tons of plugins out there that will allow you to do forms. And I can say hands down, my favorite is Gravity Forms. Because the reason is Gravity Forms, it is a premium plugin. And the reason I'm kind of giving this disclaimer is because you do have to pay for Gravity Forms, and there are free options, which I'm going to show you here. But what I use for all my websites is Gravity Forms. And you'll see in ServiceX, and you'll also see in MemberX, our monthly membership program, where we cover this stuff in detail, how to use these tools to make a machine, a lead generation machine. I use Gravity Forms almost every single time because it integrates with tons of other platforms. It integrates with Zapier, some other webhook softwares that allows me to go out and link my other apps to that. So really the power is unlimited then. Someone can enter their information, and then based on what they clicked, I can choose to send them one of 5 emails. The system picks them up and automatically sends them that. Very, very cool stuff. And that's what we're all about here at ServiceX. So I'm going to show you how we can set up a simple, free form just to get started. Now, an alternative to Gravity Forms, like I said, there's tons of them. Today, I'm just going to use Ninja Forms. It's one I've used in the past, and we can do it again. Another option, if you're looking for options, would be Contact Form 7. That's another good plugin that's very popular. So what you're going to do, as you know, you're going to go to Plugins, Add New, and in the search, I'm going to say Ninja. WordPress is an open source platform, so people can develop their own apps and put them in, or plugins and put them in the store. So something to look at is reviews and installs. You can see this is an extremely popular. It's got 1 million installations, 850 reviews. I trust putting that on my site. I mean, plugins can cause problems. They're not all plug and play for every single theme. So it's definitely it's good to have documentation. It's good to have lots of installs and good reviews. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that now, and I'm simply gonna activate that. Alrighty, so it kicks us back to the dashboard. But the cool thing is, you look over here on the left-hand side, and you can see Ninja Forms is now on our site. So I'm gonna go ahead and check out the Ninja Forms dashboard. And look, it already has some pre-built contact forms, but just for the simplicity, I want to build my own. I don't want to worry about it. So I'm gonna hit Add New. Okay, Contact Us, and boom, it's got everything that you could possibly need. Name, email, message, and submit. If you want to add some other options, you definitely can. You can do that by doing a custom form, but this definitely works for what we're going for here. And it also gives you some options to change some stuff. For example, instead of submit, if you wanted to hit send now, you can definitely do that, and it's going to change that button text. Now let's look at the message settings. Message above element, great. Required field, yes. Now that's important to note. If you want to make it required, i.e. they have to put their email address so you can reach back out to them, that's great. Alrighty, so all that looks good. Again, this is a pre-built form, so I would recommend keeping the default settings. And now let's look at the emails and actions. So store submissions, email confirmation, email notification, success message. So let's look at email confirmation. So this is an email that is automatically generated when someone submits a form. Okay, so it can be a confirmation that sends to them that says, hey, thank you for reaching out to us. We'll get back to you shortly. I mean, you're no stranger to those type of emails, and this is exactly how they're done. So if you're confused on what these are right here, this is metadata, and not to get too confusing, but it's dynamic data that people enter in the form and they put it here. All this is doing is sending a summary of what they already submitted. So it'll just say first name, last name, email, message, and they don't need a message of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. But the two, you can see this is going to the email field that was submitted by the person that was entering the contact form, okay? Your potential client. So this is actually an email that's going to auto respond to them. So I'm going to say, thank you, your submission will reach out to you shortly, or whatever you would like to put, okay? You're going to hit done and save that. And then boom. So now the person's been notified. They've been, there's a confirmation email that they've gotten. And then you need to get an email that says, hey, someone submitted a new form. Reach out to them. You can see the metadata. I would actually recommend keeping it. In this one, it shows you who it is, what their message is, and what their email that you can respond to them. And look, this is so cool. It's already set up. So it sends it to you, the admin email that's set up in the system, okay? And when you reply to it, it replies directly to the person. So when you get this notification, you can simply, like on your iPhone, you can hit reply, type in your message, boom, you're talking to that person immediately within seconds of their submission. So super cool. And that's at the very basic level. That's how you can automate some of your workflow. Like I said, that's one of the things we specialize and we focus on is automating workflows for service businesses. So we take a lot of pride in that. There's unlimited possibilities. This is just one simple plugin out of thousands. We focus on the best, the ones that can really take your business to the next level. Okay, so now that we've got that form created, we've got what's called shortcode here. Okay, I'm going to choose the one that was the most recent one that we were just working on. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hover over that shortcode and I'm going to copy it, okay? And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my contact pages. So I'm going to hover over pages, all pages. I'm going to go to my contact page. I'm going to hit edit. And remember, if you watch the earlier videos, you know that we do not submit code or we do not paste code in the visual editor. So I'm simply going to hit text and I'm going to paste that shortcode, okay? I'm going to hit update and watch what happens. It's magic. So I'm going to hit preview changes. And what do you know? We've got a fully functioning web form. I can type in my email and boom. I'm going to get autoresponders. You're going to get notified. You now have a way for clients to reach out to you and talk to you about your business. So very excited there. Just looking at this, I'm definitely going to want to make some changes. I don't like the way this shows up under the contact form. It's pretty redundant. So my options, number one, I can delete this. I can go into the Ninja form and change the settings to not show this. Up to this point, we've built out the front end of our website. We've built pages. We've built a blog post. We've built a contact form. We're rocking and rolling. We've got a fully functional website. So now we need to bring it all together and get that website feel. So I'm going to go through a couple housekeeping issues here in closing this up and show you some simple things you can do to really get your website rocking and rolling. So I already taught you how to change that background image, but I want to also show you that you can submit a logo and also change the tagline. So a lot of people ask about taglines, and in this specific business, we did property management redefined, okay? So if I go to the home page and I'm looking at, it's a new era property management, then I scroll down, I've got my tagline right here, property management redefined. And it's too long, but if this was longer, you could see, actually there it goes, when I hover, you can see the tagline says property management redefined right there in the top. So you're going to want to put that on your page as well. And let me close out some of these tabs because I don't want to get confusing for you. I want it to be as simple as possible to follow. So Pure Lawn Care, great. That's the name of our business. And then I'm going to say just a copycat. I'm going to say lawn care redefined. And boom. It's going to update my my metadata there and my tagline, my site title. The last thing I want to do is actually upload the logo to my website. So I'm going to go to this header image, and I'm going to select an image to use as my logo. Now, I've already uploaded this. You can do the same just by uploading the files. If you've got a logo in place, feel free to just select that. I'm going to click on that, select and crop. It's going to ask me to crop it. I don't really want to, so I'm just going to move that away. You can crop it, just you'll have to play around with the dimensions. It's definitely an art more than a science. So I'm going to hit crop image, and boom. I've got my logo on my website. So I'm gonna hit publish, and now you can see that things are really starting to come together. I've got my logo, I've got all my information on this website. And say I wanted to change the color, that's super simple. You can see my logo, it's got some green and blue in it. I can simply go to this color and find, a blue or a greenish that might match. And there we go. Boom. Let's see if I can get it a little better. Okay. Awesome. So now this website's really starting to look like mine. If I put a image here, it's game over. This is really starting to come together. You see my poster here, the whole 9 yards. So the last thing I want to do is bring together the contact page and the blog page and put them here in a menu. That way your clients can see it. Now check this out too. My tagline showed up: lawn care redefined, right? So this has all come together great. So the last thing I want to do is, like I said, get that menu to tie things up here. And we're going to go back to our dashboard. And we're going to scroll down here to Appearance, Menus. Now, boom. It's going to ask you, hey, this is your first menu. Give it a name. And I'm just going to name it Main Menu. Okay, and I'm going to create this. Now, here's where the magic happens. You can see all your pages. As you add pages to your website, they'll all show up here if you select View All. I'm going to select just blog and contact, okay? And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to select add to menu, boom, and those show up in here. And here's the last step. What you're going to do is you're going to set the display location to the primary navigation menu. You can also do a footer. It'll show up at the bottom of your page, but I typically just do the primary navigation menu. I'm going to hit Save Menu. I'm going to go back to my website, and what do you know? They're all here. So I've got the blog, I've got the contact page, I've got my information, my pictures, I've got my logo. We're rocking and rolling. We've got a customer-facing website ready to accept leads right now at this very moment. So congratulations, give yourself a hand. You're on the way to setting yourself up to dominate your competitors. Why? Because you've got the Genesis framework. You have a awesome optimized website, right? You've got the tools in your hand to customize it, make it look like yours, and finally, you've got a contact page and a blog form where your clients can go on and look at, isn't this beautiful? They can go on, put their names, and even the button color changed to match my logo once I changed the color settings. So I love everything about this. This is why I'm a super fan of Genesis and Studio Press and just Bluehost. Everything came together, super simple. Now, don't let me underestimate. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I mean, obviously, changing this stuff and tailoring these things will take time, but this is going to be your passion. You can get something up and running soon. You can get this. You can see I did this in just in the time of this training. So you can go ahead and set this up. You've got your own domain now. You've got your website, and check it out in the top. Even that X showed up when I set my icon. So everything's going smooth here. All right, before we close things out for good today, I definitely wanted to let you know how much of a pleasure it's been to help you build out your website. You should now, at this point, have all the tools you need to set up a fully functioning WordPress website that your clients can go to. You can push information out and get leads back, and you can even automate that contact request form and let your clients feel like you're the real deal. If you are interested in some further instruction, we do have some opportunities for you that you can check out. First is ServiceX, and this is our flagship program. ServiceX is a game changer. This will take your business from what it is now to dominating your competitors. It is the exact strategies that I have used to go from 0 to 5x growth year after year and dominate my competitors and even put other competitors out of business. We cover not only business automation in detail and how I use that to my advantage, but we also cover the pricing strategy that allows you to dominate your competitors. You set the price, you set your profits, and you win every time. So that's extremely exciting. If you want to be a part of that, I cannot tell you enough how much I recommend ServiceX. If you're not ready for ServiceX or you want to look at some other options, we also have what we call SocietyX. Now, SocietyX is an exclusive society of business owners, technical experts, entrepreneurs, a community of people that come together each and every month and daily, to be honest, and we discuss the things that are out there on the market. If I would have had this when I was running my business, if I could have asked other business owners what they were seeing, what they were doing in their markets, that sets them apart. I mean, I cannot express the value that comes across in that. Not only that, we cover weekly topics such as automation. There's tips and tricks. It's a library full of content, just like you saw today, that's going to set you and your business apart and set you apart from competitors and really take it to the next level. So I definitely recommend some Service X or Society X. Regardless, it's been a pleasure serving you today. We look forward to working with you in the future. If you have any questions, be sure to follow goodcalling.com, follow our YouTube channel. We give away content all the time because we want you to succeed. Thanks again.